Hello there, namaste. So this is the trailer for Amaran. Apparently it's a war film or a war film based on a character or something like that. It's a military based film. That's all I gathered, but it was recommended for me to watch. I was watching a lot of war films recently, and maybe this is one I probably should have checked out. Probably should have checked out, but I didn't know about it at the time. So, well, maybe down the road. Maybe down the road. But yeah, trailer for Amaran.
Go.
This battle isn't that old if he's recording on an iPad.
You do not choose 44RR. 44RR chooses you.
Papa, Tammy Papa Perenapa.
Congratulations, Major Mukund.
Boys, look at the attackers. Take position. Ready.
Oi, Mamutti.
ചേട്ടാ ഇന്ദു റെബേക്ക വർഗീസ്
എനിക്ക് മമ്മൂട്ടിയെ ഇഷ്ടമാണ്.
நீ எனக்கு ஒத்த ஆம்பளை புள்ளடா ஆர்மிக்கு போறேங்கற
ആർമിയോ
ആർമി എനിക്ക് വെറും ജോബ് ഇല്ല. ഇറ്റ്സ് മൈ ലൈഫ്.
ആർമി ലൈഫ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാലേ അൺസർട്ടൻ ആണ്.
Come back now. Repeat, come back now. I'll save every life I can and come back, sir.
I'm proud of him being an army officer and me being an army wife.
One country's freedom fighter is terrorist of another country.
You know what? That truer words have never been spoken. Truer words have never been spoken. That's the thing when it comes to things like where, what is it? U.S. stopped using the word terrorism. Well, that's because we had a very weak president, refused to acknowledge certain things. But it's like everyone has their own sign. Just like, okay, crap, Bhagat Singh would be considered, well, actually, he was a freedom fighter for sure, mainly because he stayed within his own nation. When it became to, what is it? Sadar? What he did in Britain, that would be seen as an act of terrorism because it was done in another nation. Anything that is done by an opposing nation will, like if America goes to another person's soil and starts doing something, well, the soldiers that are there would be doing acts of terrorism there because they're causing problems. And why has America always tried to be the policing nation? It's one of the dumbest things. Let people fight for themselves and just everyone defend. But unless someone asks for, I don't know. It's a gray area. I'm not the president. I don't need to worry about that stuff. But it's just everyone has that one person's freedom fighter is another person's terrorist. Because what? Sadar Singh, that's the film that Sadar Udham. Yeah, that's the film I saw where he's a freedom fighter, but the thing is, he's just in the wrong nation, and it turns him into a terrorist. That's the thing. It's a very gray area because what he was doing, if you're watching it, feels justified. But the problem is, he's just doing it in the wrong location. And Bhagat Singh, hands down, a freedom fighter. Why? Because he was doing it all in India, and then was removed by an act of terrorism. Why? Because the invading force hung him. That's just the case. Oh my gosh, that line opened a huge can of worms. Please don't hate me. Don't hate me. Everyone feels strongly about certain things. I have my issues. I'm sure other people have their own. It's just that's like a philosophy conversation right there. A huge philosophy conversation that could take forever to just start. Uncanning. Yeah, but just continue the trailer. Whew, I probably really need to see this film.
இப்படி அனுப்பி விடுறதுக்காடா உன்னை படாத பாடுபட்டு பெத்த.
Oof, I got to go back to that. So that right there I don't see movies that are realistic. Okay, Saving Private Ryan was probably the closest, which showed how violent war can be, where the guy is walking around, picks up his arm that was blown off, the person who's shot and his guts are everywhere, and they kind of push it in and then just give him morphine to kill him, to stop feeling the pain and kill him so he doesn't die by bleeding out and suffering of a lot of pain. But yeah, this right here, that explosion is just...
Who are we?
This is the face of the Indian Army.
I gotta say, looks good.
அப்பா பர்த்டேக்கு வருவாங்க சொன்னல அப்பா வருவாங்களா
Aw. Okay, I gotta say that I definitely need to check that out, just because of just the can of worms that I opened with that one dialogue. The fact that so one thing I had issues with Major is because he was a true soldier. He was die hard a true soldier, committed himself to protecting his motherland. That is a true soldier, and true soldiers are rare. There are a lot of people who are in the military, especially in the U.S., who honestly probably shouldn't be there. I'm sure a lot of true soldiers can point them out. People that are their brothers in arms, but at the same time, they're not the same mindset. Because what the issue was in Major, where the wife wanted to be the sole focus of his life. But no, if you're marrying a soldier, sadly, the wife, you will never come first. You just never will. There's a reason why a cheating spouse or a military men get cheated on probably more than anyone else, because they're committed somewhere else. Of course, a lot of military soldiers do a lot of cheating themselves overseas. That there's a lot of instances which are just messed up, especially the ones you hear in the U.S. But that's neither here nor there. But a true soldier is one of those things where see their duty as their number one priority, not their family, not their loved ones, not their children, not their friends, not anything else. It's their duty that becomes number one priority, and I respected that in Major. Absolutely, I despised his girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever she was, because she just didn't get it. She just didn't understand and gave up on him because of it, which affected him as well, even though he committed himself to what he committed himself to. He had his priorities straight. In this one, it seems like she understands. His wife understands. I like that. I like the fact you need someone who understands. I mean, that was the one thing in Border when I saw it. Because the spouse did not want him to go, he was affected by it. What was that? Border or Cargill? I think it was Border, where she was against it, and I was like, no. You have to give him approval. If you keep saying you're against it, it's gonna affect him and cause him to skip up. You do not want that on a soldier on the battlefield. And then, of course, she ended up messaging saying she was with him, and then he did better. I've seen too many war films; they're all blending together. But yeah, I gotta say, I liked how she was proud that she was married to a soldier. She knew who she married. But it seems like there's a story, a family of soldiers going on, something like that. We'll get to it, the story eventually. I stopped halfway through to go on a tangent about something completely different because of one piece of dialogue. Yeah. But I need to be checking this one out. I need to. Thank y'all for watching. Talk to you next time. Doodles.